In this video, I'm gonna give you 10 tips for selling more solar deals immediately. Hey, welcome guys back to another solar video on the channel. My name is Ivan and I help people start and grow profitable sales orgs selling solar over the phone, being location independent, the whole 9 yards. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And if you like the content of this video, also give me a thumbs up so we boost it up. All right, so without further ado, let's get right into it. Doesn't matter if you're new, you're just starting out, right? Or you have experience selling solar. These tips may help you because sometimes we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. Sometimes we know the stuff that we need to be doing, but we don't do it. So I hope this video, either you learn something new or it serves you as a reminder. Doesn't matter. So the first thing is you have to show up on time. Okay, I can't tell you how many times I've seen people just being late for calls. And sometimes I'm like, dude, you don't know who's standing on the other side of the telephone, okay? The least you can do is show up on time, okay? Unless you have so many appointments that you physically cannot be on time because you're closing another deal, that's your only excuse to be late. Otherwise, don't be late. Now, number 2, write down what they say, okay? I used to be that guy. I used to talk to people, be like, dude, I've spoken to like 50 people this week and I don't remember jack shit about what they said, okay? Some people I don't even remember talking to and I've stayed on the phone for an hour, okay? Which is crazy, right? So that's why you have to write down what they say. It doesn't have to be in a physical format to where you write it in a notebook. You have to have some kind of, like if you have a CRM, could be as simple as a Google Sheet. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just write it down, man. Just write down what they say. If they have 2 kids, write it down. They tell you what their names are, write it down. They tell you how old they are, write it down. Right? So write it down so that next time you get on the phone with them, you already have something to talk about. Number 3, have a clear and outlined protocol for following up. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people time and time again do not follow up enough. I'm just like, dude, you don't even have a protocol system for following up. What do I mean by that? What happens if someone doesn't answer? What happens if, if somebody doesn't show up to the call, right? What happens then? Do they just get left in the dust? Like nothing happens to that lead? No, a lead is a lead and it needs to be treated that way. Every lead is a potential sale. Okay, that's why I always tell my sales guys, like you need to be on the ball and you need to have something. You can't think of it on the spot. Hey, what do I do? What do I do? No. Before you start your day or before you start in that environment, in that sales position, you have to know what to do. Just like knowing how to respond when somebody says it's too expensive, right? It is the same exact thing. You need to have a response for that. So that's why you have a protocol for follow-up. And also everybody knows that the money's in the follow-up, right? So if you don't follow up, you don't maximize the amount of opportunities that you could have otherwise closed, and so you're leaving a lot of money on the table. Number 4, follow up every chance you get. Okay, that's part of your follow-up protocol that you're gonna have. So if Sally or if Bob doesn't show up, what do? Well, I have another 25 minutes that I can follow up with previous prospects that didn't answer the phone or for whatever reason, I haven't managed to get on a call with them, again. So follow up every chance you get. Money's in the follow-up. Next thing, number 5, make sure you text people. A lot of people are just like, oh, call them, listen to voicemail. Dude, you have to text them because they might be in a meeting. They might be doing something, okay? Most of the times people would not respond to your calls, but they will see your text. And that's why it's better for you sometimes to text than to call. And that should also be included in your follow-up protocol if you have one. Number 6, pitch the value of the long-term investment of solar. So we usually sell the systems, we usually do 20 to 25 years, always. So we can pitch the investments. And a lot of the times I had a conversation with one of my clients yesterday. They're like, well, bro, in some states, like the increase is only like 4% a year. 4% a year? Are you serious? So you telling me, right? So next time this year, instead of me paying $100 a month on my bill, I'm gonna pay $104. Well, you have to be able to educate the homeowner and tell them, listen, Mr. Customer, that 4% is not actually 4%. It's more like 40%. When was the last time you had a bill from the year before that was like $100 and then next year you got only a 4%? No, the increase could be 4%, but what about all the other fees associated with building up their bill, okay? No one talks about that. Well, you have to educate them. That's why you're on the phone with them. So you have to build the value this way of the long-term investment, okay? So if you take into account that it's not 4%, and then it's more like 40%, then it starts to make a lot more sense, right? So don't be one of those people that pitches like, oh, it's only like 4 to 6%. No, don't watch the news. Watch what it says on the bill. Next thing is, tell people stories to make your point. Can't stress this enough. Sometimes people wouldn't get it, so they need to hear a story, okay? You can even make up a white lie just to be able to put yourself in their shoes and tell them that, hey, you've been in that situation, you know somebody who's been in that situation, right? For example, hey, what happens if I'm looking to sell the house? Well, Mr. Customer had someone like that, just like that, right? Like last week, the guy sold his home and it just rolled a loan to the other homeowner. And it's just like that, right? They have to know how easy it is to do that. So tell a story. Tell them, hey, that was Bob and Sally and, they did that and it worked out great. And actually increased the property value and all that kind of. So be able to tell stories and give people analogies to get your point across. Number 8, make sure you have an automation sequence. Hey, if somebody doesn't show up on the call, what do? Well, you mark them as a no-show, and then in the CRM, there'll be a follow-up sequence after that that will basically remind them, hey, there's value here, there's value here, there's value here, right? That's what the follow-up system does. That's what, an adequate follow system will do. It will remind a homeowner of what they're missing out on. Okay, so make sure you have that. So it's not all manual reaching out. You actually have something that is more automated. Next thing, number 9, is you have to remember to handle objections before they ever come up, because they will come up. You have to account for them. So for example, in that training, if you want to check out how we build scripts and how we sell over the phone, you can check out, it will be the first link in the description down below. I would love for you to check it out. There's a lot of freaking value, free training, okay? Now, if your script is built in a way that handles objections before they ever come up and accounts for them. That's what a good script does. You don't wait for the customer telling, hey, I need to speak to my wife. No, you say, hey, who's the decision maker for something like this? Is it you? Is it both of you, right? If it's both of you, I would love to have both of you on the call. And you do that right at the beginning of the call, because you don't want to end up talking to someone who's not a decision maker, right? Now, when we speak to homeowners, usually, even if you're talking to the man, doesn't matter, man or woman, okay? I have a partner. Even though I bring in the money home, like most of the money home, okay, I still value her opinion. So, and most homeowners are like this, right? And so if that's the situation, then you need to make sure that you have both of those people on the call with you. Otherwise, it'd be a waste of your time, because you might get Bob sold on the deal, but then Sally's like pulling away. She's like, nah, I ain't doing this, okay? Sold is a scam, okay? So you want to have both of them sold, and you want to have both of them present at the time of the presentation. Otherwise, you'll be shooting yourself in the foot. Number 10, always, I say this all the freaking time, record your sales calls, okay? If you're not recording your sales calls, you're missing out big time, especially if you're training salespeople, especially if you're looking to hire more salespeople. Again, if you want to know how we do it, check out the first link in the description down below. In the training, we actually show exactly how to do that. Recording your sales calls is crucial, man, because it builds that of successful closings that we can then show the new guys that come in. Hey guys, this is what it looks like to be in the field, okay? In the training, I also give away recordings of sales calls directly from the kitchen. So if you click the link to go watch the training, you'll get the recordings also, and 2 ebooks. So once those calls are recorded, you could show them to your guys, right? You can do breakdowns of calls. That's one of the things that we do when we do training calls. We do breakdowns. Well, I have an 80-20% rule that I'll probably talk about in another video. 80% I do positive breakdowns of successful closing, and 20% is like people that literally like just flop. So that's this will be a wrap, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a massive thumbs up. And again, if you have someone in your immediate network that wants to know more about selling solar over the phone, and they want to know how to generate leads, how to build a remote solar sales business, okay, share with them this link. Just say, hey, there you go, buddy. Free value, right? You don't have to be weird. Don't share it in social media, whatever, you don't have to look weird, right? But when you give context to people and say, hey, this guy talks about this, this, and this, you better learn from him, right? Then they're more likely to listen to you and actually follow through and check out the channel. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you have any questions for me, put them down in the comments below. Would love to get that question and answer it in future videos. Also, if I missed something in the video, I might have missed something, okay? Those are 10 things, but maybe you noticed 3 things I didn't say, all right? So please put them down below in the comments, and check out the link in the description for the free training, because it is absolutely mind-blowing. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again in the next one.